So hey folks, welcome to our channel. Whether you're a seasoned investor or you're just starting out, this video has the answers you need to make the most of this exciting market. You know, exploring real estate investment opportunities can be a daunting task, okay? Especially when it comes to multifamily properties here in South Florida. However, folks, with the right knowledge, insights, and skills, and also with the right people in your team, you can make an informed decision to discover top-tier properties that offer a strong return on your investment. So in this video, we'll analyze the current state of South Florida's real estate scene, provide valuable tips and strategies for success and thriving in this market. So let's go ahead and jump in with our exploration. Folks, let's go ahead and start by examining the current landscape of the South Florida real estate market. You know, recent reports highlight a notable surge in demand for multifamily properties within the South Florida area, especially in the Miami-Dade and Broward County regions. You know, this uptick is driven by the areas, by our area's expanding population, and folks are seeking more affordable housing options. One major contributing factor is a rising preference for rental properties over home ownership, amplifying the demands for rentals in our area. Let's face it, folks, South Florida, the rental market is getting tighter and tighter every day, every week. So, presently in the entire South Florida market area, okay, we're seeing a consistent upward trend in home prices, okay? But despite this trend, this momentum, there are several challenges still facing the market. The higher mortgage rates are prompting potential buyers to adopt a cautious stance. I mean, let's face it, folks, almost 2 years ago, we were down in the 3s, now we're up into the 7s, okay? This is causing a lot of folks to kind of reevaluate their whole real estate investment strategy. The other thing is that there has also been a significant uptick in home ownership costs. We're talking about insurance, we're talking about real estate taxes. I mean, it's one of these, real estate taxes is kind of a, it's almost a this, then that type of a deal where basically, you want to have the highest value for your property because it makes your investment portfolio look good. However, the higher the value of your property, the higher the real estate taxes are going to be on it. And unfortunately, the higher the value of the property, the higher the insurance is going to be on it too. So these are kind of factors that are also giving people reason to kind of look at different or alternative ways to basically for their real estate investment. The other thing is that recent trends, folks, as I said it before, we say it in every one of our videos, home prices down in the South Florida area, especially in the Miami-Dade and the Broward County areas, the home prices are going up. I mean, we're looking at basically a 3.4% increase in just year over year for the prices and the values of homes, okay? The other thing is that we're still seeing an increase. We're seeing about a 4.5% to 5% increase in the number of homes that are sold across South Florida. But when you take a look at that and compare that to the increase in the prices, I mean, it's great for some of the sellers that are still looking to try to sell their properties. But what we're seeing is that the cost of ownership is really going up, okay? And again, as we said, many folks are very, very cautious, and concerned about the 7% interest rate. Now, as a kind of an FYI, if you will, I've been involved in real estate for quite some time, and I'll kind of tell you how far back my involvement goes. The first property I ever bought, I paid 14.9% interest, and I was actually really happy to get it. Now that was a while ago, but it's one of these things where people need to be cautious, okay? Now, the other thing is that one of the things that we've seen as far as the rental market goes is that the rental rates are going up, but the number of available rental properties have either remained constant or in some cases they're going down. And here's give you an example. I mean, a one-bedroom property rents for $1,600 in Miami. Two-bedroom, you're looking at $2,150 to $2,200 a month for a two-bedroom place in Miami. Fort Lauderdale's a little less expensive. I mean, you're looking at it from the standpoint of maybe $1,600, maybe $1,590 to $1,600, okay? And you're looking just a shade under $2,000 a month for a two-bedroom, okay? I mean, overall, this is really putting a real squeeze on investors, what they can do and how they can do things in the South Florida real estate market. But you know what? We still continue to see an increase in market growth. We're still seeing increases in market prices, and basically, it's still going up. So, let's get into the meat of things. We'll talk about investing in multifamily properties, okay? And it comes with a bunch of a number of significant advantages. First one is potential rental income. Multifamily properties, whether they're apartment complexes, condo buildings, duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, they present an incredible opportunity to boost your monthly income through multiple rental spaces. I mean, the income generated from these properties are often consistent and very predictable, makes them a very, very appealing choice, especially to first-time investors. And unlike a single-family property, the impact of one tenant falling behind is not as significant as it is if you have 2 or 3 or 4 tenants. Okay, basically, it just kind of spreads a little bit of the risk out in the event that one of the tenants runs into some challenges. I mean, this reduction or this spreading of the risk, if you will, can significantly reduce the overall risk of significant loss of income, and it kind of keeps the revenue stream a bit more constant, a bit more consistent. Okay? I mean, there are obvious tax benefits. Now, folks, in all transparency, we're not tax professionals. We don't even play one on TV. Okay, but investing in multifamily properties offers substantial tax benefits. Obviously, one of the most significant is the fact that you can claim depreciation on your taxes, and you can that can translate into a significant reduction in taxable income. Additionally, you can get involved in what they call 1031 exchanges, and not to go into a whole lot of information because it's one of these things where it's actually a very, very involved topic. But folks, if you have any questions about it, I'd encourage you to reach out to us. We can walk you through what a 1031 exchange is. But essentially, what you're doing is the IRS allows you to exchange one kind of property for a like property of the similar kind. So if you have a rental property somewhere and that rental property is not working for you, or you feel the need to divest of it, go ahead and give us a call and let us know. We can help you divest of that one, and we can find another similar property for a like kind of exchange. The other thing is that since many investors are looking at mortgages to go ahead and to acquire the property. Now, the mortgage industry recognizes this, and a lot of the loan officers, especially some of the ones that we work with, have some very, very creative financing. In fact, in some cases, you can look at conventional FHA or VA financing, and some of those loan programs actually come with specialized programs where you can actually finance some of the significant improvements into the initial purchase price, keeping the cost of those improvements down significantly, and also adding to a significant increase in the overall value of your property. Okay, I guess another big advantage is market stability. Okay, multifamily properties have proven time over time to be very, very stable and very, very resilient during economic downturns. It's a very, very stable investment option. Historically, they've been the best performing property types, maintaining a very strong demand. Okay, and they actually witness a kind of a quicker recovery in the event that there is a downturn in the market. And think about it: if you're looking at a duplex or a triplex or a quadplex, I mean, you can live in one of the units yourself, and you can rent the other 1, 2, or 3 units out. Okay, and it gives you a lot of stabilization. It gives you a lot of opportunity to basically maximize your investment portfolio. This resilience has actually serves as a very, very strong hedge for inflation and historical growth in post-recession type times, which we are kind of in and out of now, depending upon which economist you're listening to and believe, but it does make them a very, very attractive investment opportunity. So, overall, kind of, with all the advantages and all the things that are happening with multifamily properties, so really kind of, let's get to the nuts and bolts. Why invest in multifamily properties? I mean, as we said, the number one reason is probably spreading that risk out over a number of different tenants, as opposed to having it, if you just rent out a single family home, you rent it out a condo, you have one tenant, something goes wrong, you can be in a world of hurt. Okay, it also means kind of if for some reason one unit is unoccupied, you still have other units that are basically producing income, and it serves as kind of a risk minimization strategy. Okay, and and the thing is, these properties are actually at typically a lower cost per unit or lower cost per square foot than single family homes, and they also, looking at it from the standpoint of a per unit or per square foot cost, makes it a much more affordable investment option. When you kind of take a look at that and combine it with the potential for high yields on the return of from rental income across multiple tenants, it really makes a strong case for looking at multifamily properties. In essence, kind of investing in multifamily properties, it's a lucrative opportunity, especially in high demand areas like here in South Florida. One of the things that you want to take a look at, though, that it's not something that's going to fall into your lap. So there are a couple of strategies or a couple of things that you want to kind of keep in mind. First and foremost, conduct thorough research to identify the areas that you're interested in. Chances are, if it's an area that you would live in, other folks would look to live in there too. Number 2 is look for areas that have a potential for basically coming of time, if you will. There are areas here in South Florida that are going through, we lovingly call it regentrification, but what happens is that there are areas that are going through a change. Okay, and if you can get in just just at the very beginning of that change and find yourself a good deal on the property. As that area changes, you'll see the value of that property increasing, and you got in at a very, very good price. Next thing you need to do is collaborate with a local real estate agent like myself or my team. We know that with the knowledge and the experience of basically looking at what are the key points for multifamily properties. We'll assist you in finding the properties. We'll help you determine what your risk mitigation strategy can be. We'll take a look and give you an idea of what the rent potentials are going to be, and give you an idea as to whether or not you can look at positive cash flow, negative cash flow, neutral cash flow, kind of all balancing against what it is that your goals and your objectives are. Okay, and folks, lastly, okay, and I can't stress this enough, be ready to jump on it, because what's going to happen is that chances are, if you find a property that it works well for you and meets your criteria, there are other folks who are looking at the exact same thing, and they're going to want to jump on it also. We want to look at some of the factors to consider before investing. Okay, and basically there are some things that you really, really want to look at, and things that you really, really need to be looking at from the standpoint of deciding when you want to invest and where you want to invest. Okay, the first is, and everybody says it with kind of laughingly, but basically, what are the first three rules of real estate? Location, location, location. Okay, basically you want to look at areas where multifamily properties are experiencing growth, where there's a high demand for multifamily properties. There are certain communities that multifamily properties just seem to fit very well in, and there are other communities where basically the single family home with one family or whatever, or one tenant or one resident, if you will, seems to work well. So you want to take a look at that. I mean, cities like Hialeah, Miami Beach, North Miami, Dania Beach, Pompano Beach, some of those areas in there seem to be doing very, very well for multifamily homes. Now, there are areas in Coral Springs and Coconut Creek and some of the other areas, but those are much smaller areas to focus at. That doesn't mean that there are not properties available, that there are not deals available, but again, it speaks to working with a local real estate expert like myself or my team. The second thing you want to look at is property condition. Okay, so now folks, Aaron, this is one where you and I have been going around on a little bit. Okay, you want to look at the condition. Some folks are looking for a property that needs to have work, and they can get that property for a very, very good value, but they realize that they're going to have to put some cash equity into it, and they're going to have to put in a hell of a lot of sweat equity into it. And if that's where you're coming from and that's what you're looking for, terrific. Those are the kind of things we want to be looking at. Other folks, basically, they just want to find something that's turnkey. We need to understand kind of what you're looking for, where you're going. Okay, and you need to understand that there's going to be some price variances of something that needs to have some work to be done on it versus having something that can basically be ready to move in. The other thing is that, again, you want to look at your financing options, okay? There are all kinds of financing options down here in South Florida. You can look at conventional, VA, FHA. You can look at USDA for properties that are on larger pieces of land, okay? And there's Fannie Mae has all kinds of loans. Freddie Mac has all kinds of loans. There's HUD loans, there's bridge loans. I mean, understanding all these loans and all these different options are going to be critical to you finding the right mix of financing and the right mix of paying for the property so that you can begin to realize the maximum potential of the return. Again, we're not a lender. We work with a number of different lenders. We are happy to make recommendations for lenders that we use, that we've been able to work with us on. They know all of these properties and basically give you a number of different recommendations for lenders. Okay, now folks, here's the other thing too. It's not without some risk. Okay, I mean there are market fluctuations like anything else that can cause changes in values. You want to talk about legal considerations. You want to contract negotiation. You want to make sure that the environmental factors are taken into consideration, and of course the landlord-tenant laws that you understand those, that you know about those. If you're not sure, ask us. If we don't know the answer, we will go out and find the answer for you. But you want to make sure that you understand that there are potential risks in dealing with these types of investments. It's like any investment. So the other thing is that you also want to make sure that the property is zoned the way that it needs to be zoned. Zoning down here is kind of all over the place, and sometimes it just seems like there's really no rhyme or reason to it, and there is definitely a rhyme or reason to it. When we figure it out, we'll be sure to let you know. But basically, you want to make sure that you're in compliance with zoning. Multifamily properties, despite some of their advantages, present unique challenges for investors. Okay, and managing these challenges can be more complex due to having multiple tenants. It's kind of like when you have kids. Okay, having one kid is terrific. Having two kids, it's not twice as much effort. It's exponentially more effort. Well, when you have more than one tenant, it's kind of the same thing. You're going to have exponentially more effort. You're going to have exponentially more things to be aware of. Okay, and you also, again, you want to make sure that you are understanding with the government regulations around what's happening. In some cases, it may require you to do special zoning. You may have to apply for special permits. These are things that we can talk through with you depending upon the area that's in. It's unfortunately there's no set standard that goes across all of South Florida. The other thing is that you want to make sure that, and maybe depending upon how active you want to be involved in this investment, especially if you're not going to come down and saying it yourself, it may be more beneficial for you to just kind of work with a property management company, okay? And they can also help identify some of the legal issues and some of the legal impacts of things, and they can keep an eye on the property for you, okay? But again, you just want to make sure that you go into this with eyes wide open, and that you understand that, in addition to the rewards, there is a fair amount of risk, and there are some challenges. So, folks, so in conclusion, investing in multifamily properties in South Florida can be a smart investment strategy for real estate investors, and it can be very lucrative. The current state of our real estate market, okay, coupled with the increasing demand of rental properties, makes it a very attractive investment opportunity. So, folks, if you're interested in investing in multifamily properties here in Florida, make sure that you do your research, working with a local real estate agent like my team and I, and be prepared to act quickly in what's going on. So, folks, we hope you've enjoyed the video. We hope you found it interesting, informative, and I try to be as educational as I can. But again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button so we can continue to grow our channel. Go ahead and hit the little bell so you get notified every time we drop a new video. And please feel free to reach out and give us a call, shoot us a little text, a little email, or click on the Calendly link to go ahead and set up a time where we can sit and chit chat for maybe 45 minutes about what you're looking to do. If it's multifamily properties, terrific. If there's other questions you have about real estate, we've talked about some of the changes in real estate regulation, talked about FinCEN that's come out. We've talked about the Sunshine Property State challenges that are coming out, in addition to some of the other challenges we're seeing just basically looking to buy or rent here in the South Florida market. So, till next time.